Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Simply Street English podcast. My name is Jake. I'm your host, as ever. I'm on the 21st episode of this English podcast. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to two new patrons who joined this week. Nada Oel joined, and Tan Nguyen Duk also. Thanks to you both for joining. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but I tried my best. Anyway, let's get on with the rest of the podcast. And I hope that you're enjoying it so far. If this is your first time here, welcome. It's just about trying to supply people who are learning English with a constant stream of podcasts that you can just listen to. And I'm hoping to make lots and lots of them so you can just tune in, and there'll be of lots of different topics, just in the same way that I listen to other language learning podcasts. So I thought I'd make something similar. Right. Today I'm going to be talking about procrastination. So putting things off. Just want to remind you that if you want to see the transcripts and read along as you listen, then feel free to check out my Patreon page, simplystreetenglish.com/the Simply Street English. Try again, patreon.com/Simply Street English. There we go. So let's get on with this, and I will try and speak a little bit slower in this episode. Procrastination. So, as I said before, it's also called putting things off. To put something off is to literally leave it for another day. So, or to delay it. Okay, so if, for example, if you have some work to do, or a job, or I don't know, an exam that you have to revise for, and you needed to do that today, but you put it off, it means that you left it for another day. So you avoid doing something. That's what procrastination is. It's when you put something off. Procrastination in itself is a strange feeling. Like, you know the feeling. It's like there's something you should be doing, but instead you're scrolling through your phone, or watching another episode on Netflix, or maybe even just cleaning the kitchen, just to avoid your actual task. Maybe that sounds familiar. And yes, you would be correct. That is procrastination. So, why do we procrastinate? There are many reasons. One of the reasons could be because of a fear of failure, or a fear of failing, you can say. So, if you never start something, you can avoid failing because you never do it. Does that make sense? So, you avoid starting or beginning something because you're afraid that it might not be good enough. So, what if I mess it up? What if I don't do well? This fear can make us freeze, so make us stop and do nothing. To freeze is when something is really, really cold. Yeah, it stops. Well, we can freeze as people. Even if it can be a physical, literal, you stop, but also to freeze and just not do the right thing, or not do what you need to do. Another thing can be perfectionism. So wanting something to be absolutely 100% perfect. This can make you delay starting a task. So maybe if you have a certain time that you want to start, but the perfect time will never happen. You have to just start now, or at least when you have chance. Sometimes I've heard perfectionism described as something like perfection, or the perfect is the enemy of the good, something like that, which means that, like, instead of just doing something and doing it well and doing good, because you want it to be perfect, you end up doing nothing, or even worse, like you just don't do well. And maybe this can lead us on to the next one, right? And the next reason might be that something is overwhelming. So If you've got a lot of tasks, maybe they're very small tasks, but there's a lot of them, you can feel overwhelmed. And that word means that when you are overwhelmed, it means that you have too much to do, or you feel like you have too much to do, and you just cannot cope. So for example, today, personally, I feel a little bit overwhelmed because I have lots of different things to do. Things to do with my bank, things to do with sending emails, things to do with making dinner, just so many small things. And this is after I've been working all day as well. Personally, that's my example. I'm feeling overwhelmed. So, hopefully I can use some of the techniques later in this video for me to stop feeling, or to stop procrastinating and stop feeling overwhelmed. Right. Another reason can just be simple distractions. So you open your phone, open an app, and suddenly you are in a rabbit hole of social media. A rabbit hole is a really good phrase to use when it comes to, for example, YouTube or any other social media, really. A rabbit hole is somewhere physically outside where rabbits dig and they go down. And I think it must have something to do with, I don't know if you've heard of Alice in Wonderland. I'm sure they go down a rabbit hole or something, and then she goes to Wonderland. I honestly, I'm not sure if this is where the phrase comes from, but if you open a social media rabbit hole, it means you just scroll and scroll and scroll. And you know what I'm talking about. At 3 a.m, you're looking at how to make pizzas in pizza oven, which you don't have, or how the sewage system in, I don't know, some random country you've never been to works, or something like that. You're down a YouTube rabbit hole. Anyway, that's a reason that we can procrastinate. So you open an app and an hour and 45, 2 hours goes by and you're still scrolling. So you know how bad procrastination can feel. How do we get to the good stuff, right? How do we fight back? How do we stop procrastinating and just get on with things? Let's grab some English phrases and just go to town with them. Go to town with means, by the way, to do really well with, I think, I can't remember. For example, I'll give you some examples. Maybe you get a feel for what that phrase means. To go to town with something. If someone puts food in front of you and you go to town with it, it means you eat it real quick. Or if someone gives you, I don't know, you playing sport and you go to town with it, it means you just do really well. Anyway, that's a little phrase for you. There you go. Start small. So don't try to do everything at once. Just take one small step, okay? So if you've got to study and you want to do an hour, just tell yourself you're going to study for 2 minutes. And then once you're in the rhythm, hopefully you'll be able to carry on. It's something that some people call, I don't know, maybe a 5-minute rule or something, 5-minute rule. If you just start and do that really difficult bit, you might well just keep going. And honestly, once you practice and once you start on a task, your brain usually enjoys it. It's just really hard to start sometimes. Here's a useful phrase for you: to break down. So if you have a big task like studying for an hour or writing a 1,000-word essay or whatever it is, break it down into smaller parts. So break it down, divide into small parts. That's what that means. Smaller chunks are easier to deal with than big, I guess. One big task. You could even use a timer. I've heard of the Pomodoro technique. And Pomodoro, I'm sure, means something in Italian, something delicious. Probably, I don't know if it's tomato sauce or something, but I don't know. But essentially, you set a timer for 25 minutes, you work, and then you take a 5-minute break, and you just keep doing that. Oh yeah, it literally means tomato Italian. Amazing. That would just make me really hungry, to be honest with you. But if you are looking forward to your first break and you've only just started, I think that can be really quite useful. Something else you can do to stop procrastination is make a to-do list. I really like a physical to-do list because it means that I can tick things off and you see physical progress. This is really important when you've got tasks that there's nothing to mark them. There's nothing to show for them. For example, sending an email, like it took you maybe half an hour to read through an email, craft a perfect response, and get all the documentation together. And once you've sent it, what do you have to show for it? Well, not a lot, really. So it's good to write things down and then go tick, 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 I did that, and tick it off. It's very satisfying. A to-do list, that's what they are, because you need to do things. It helps you to get your priorities in order, to tackle the hardest tasks first, perhaps. To tackle, that can be in sport where you hit someone and get the ball. Obviously within the rules, not hit someone with your fists, but just like tackle them. So you can tackle tasks in the same way with a bit of aggression, not violence. Okay, there's a difference. Aggression is within the rules, so tackle your to-do list, right? Another way to help beat procrastination, I just gave it away, is to remove distractions. So you can put your phone in another room, use an app blocker maybe, and turn off notifications. All these things will help you to keep, keep your phone and distractions out of sight and out of mind. That's a good phrase, out of sight, out of mind. It means if you can't see it, then you won't be thinking about it. Okay, so phone, other room, just do it. Notifications off. Here's a good one for you. Be kind to yourself. Okay. Recognize when you procrastinate. Admit it. Everyone does it sometimes. Just don't be hard on yourself. Don't say things like, I'm so lazy, I can't focus, I can't do it. Show yourself some grace and say, it's okay. I did procrastinate for a bit. I see that it's annoying. Cut yourself some slack and try again. To cut yourself slack means to give yourself a break, not to be too harsh. Like slack in a rope, okay? If the rope's really tight, it means you're pulling on both ends, but slack is when there's space and it's kind of loopy in the middle. I don't know, just not tight, okay? So don't be harsh on yourself. Cut yourself some slack. So you'll probably understand this mini dialogue then. I'll present it to you and see if you understand it, which you probably will because I've explained it. So one person says, have you finished your assignment yet? No, I've been putting it off all day. Try the 5-minute rule. Just get started. Good idea. I'll break it down into small steps. See, that's using some of the vocab that we had earlier. Let's just go over some of the other vocab that we didn't just cover. To put something off is to delay something, to leave it for another day or another time. To break it down means to divide into smaller parts. To tackle a task means to face something head on and do it and just get it done. Remember, tackle also can mean, in a sport context, can also mean to challenge somebody to try and perhaps get the ball back. To beat yourself up is to be too hard on yourself. It's like you're having a fight with yourself, so don't beat yourself up. Cut yourself some slack. Be kind to yourself. I like that one. Out of sight, out of mind. If you can't see it, it's easier to ignore. So I guess this is our final thought. Procrastination is very normal, but you don't have to let it win. You can take those small steps to try and use your time wisely, and just try and remember that something done is better than something that is not done, but you're trying to be perfect with it. A bit like with speaking English, just keep trying to speak it and trying to understand it. So keep listening to whichever podcast you're listening to. If it's this one, then great. If it's something else, that's amazing as well. Just keep enjoying the language and being motivated, okay? That's enough from me, I think, today. Check out the Patreon if you fancy that. Just keep listening to English every day and talking and using it. Proud of you. Keep going. And we'll see each other in the next episode. Ciao.